here's the latest. More than 24 hours after Hamas launched its attack on Israel and infiltrated southern communities, here's the latest on the biggest escalation in the conflict in decades. Clashes between Israeli force and Palestinian militants are ongoing in several parts of southern Israel. According to local media reports, Haaretz quotes the Israeli army as saying it has taken back control of most areas of the south, I almost said southern, but fighting is continuing in areas close to the Gaza border, including Be'eri and Sderot. The Israeli embassy in the UK has confirmed a British citizen, Jake Marlowe, is missing. He was working as security staff at an outdoor dance festival near the Gaza border when the attack happened. More than 400 Palestinian militants have been killed in southern Israel and the Gaza Strip, and dozens more have been captured. An IDF spokesman was quoted as saying by the Times of Israel, and at least 300 Israelis have been killed and dozens kidnapped. Israel's embassy in Turkey said, quoting Israel's Ministry of Health, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 313 people in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian officials say, meanwhile, Israel officials have said the country is still at war and still completing efforts to take fully control of Israeli territory and communities from Hamas. Throughout the night there was a surprise attack on Israel, and some idiots in London decided to celebrate. London police patrols increase amid celebration claims. So, I'm going to read this full ass article by the BBC right now, so bear with me because I do stutter a hell of a lot. Let's see what's going on over in London. The Met Police was urged to intervene by Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick, who claimed people were glorifying the terrorist activities of Hamas. So if you don't know, last night, which was Saturday, throughout while I was sleeping peacefully in bed, Israel couldn't do the same, unfortunately, because Hamas decided to launch a major assault into Israel, firing, let's get the facts because I don't want to misspeak right now. So what was going on in Israel last night? Bear with me while I get all the facts for you. Why are Israel and Hamas fighting? There is consistent tension between Israel and Hamas, but the attack by the militants on Saturday came without warning. Hamas fired thousands of rockets. Oh, so I'm not stood corrected or sat corrected. I did hear rockets. I didn't want to say rockets and mislead you because I didn't know if it was rockets or missiles. They're two completely different things in my opinion. A missile is something that comes from an airplane, comes downwards, where a rocket is like a rocket launcher, what a rocket launcher launches. Missiles can be anything ranging from grenades to really explosive things coming out of the sky from jet planes. So yeah, missiles are a range of things. Rockets are it's a fucking rocket. It looks like a penis, but it will kill you within 2 seconds. But yeah, so I didn't want to misspeak there. So yeah, they fired rockets into Israel, and that's why Israel couldn't sleep peacefully when I was sleeping peacefully in my bed last night, because they had a surprise attack. It came without warning. Last night, Hamas decides to just do a war crime. They thought, how do we end our lives faster? Oh, we'll do a war crime. And for some unknown reason, there's a lot of idiots in the UK, me included, but I would never celebrate a attack on any country, because that is people's lives getting ruined, and I don't like it when people's lives get ruined. People are forced out of their homes because to find shelter for their own safety. I do not like war. I want real peace. I represent real peace. And doesn't matter what side of the fence you are on, this is affecting human lives at the end of the day. We have a certain privilege. Me being in this house right now, delivering you this news story, is a real privilege in its own, because I have the technology to get this news story out to you. But not everybody has the same technology. Some people only have like consoles, some people only have computers, and you can't record with a console, but you can with a computer. So I have many technologies around me, but I'm not going to get into that. So I wouldn't want a missile or a rocket to come through my roof, or even an asteroid falling from the sky in here and exploding my whole place, setting it on fire. I can't pick up my equipment because they're too heavy. I'll have to leave it behind because my house would be on fire if something hit it. So I don't like war, and I get very sad when I see stories like this. But what we know so far, we'll get into that right now. If I just go onto the live feed, let's see what we know so far about this new war. We know that London are being pricks, but that's just British people. They are friggin' pricks. They celebrate the most stupidest things. They celebrate like war, and normal people wouldn't want war. We want peace. But let's have a read of what's breaking right now as I'm running this video. British citizen missing in Israel. The Israeli embassy in the UK has confirmed that a British citizen, Jake Marlowe, is missing in Israel following the Palestinian attack. It is unclear whether he has been taken hostage. According to his mother, Marlowe was working as a security staff agent at an outdoor party at Kibbutz Reem, I can't say that name, sorry fellas, near the border with Gaza when the attack unfolded on Saturday. And the British was celebrating the friggin' attack, but one of our own has been either captured or killed by them. Are you still celebrating, London? Are you still celebrating? A different and dangerous crisis. There has been decades of tension, attacks and all-out wars between Israel and Hamas. But this crisis is different and dangerous, most of all for the large number of Israeli hostages, but also the rising toll of Israeli casualties. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin, I can't say his last name, will be under huge pressure from his right-wing government to do what he and other Israeli leaders have avoided in the past. A major ground offensive into Gaza, even more a reoccupation of the territory its troops pulled out of in 2005. Hamas is also ready for a fight. Its audacious attack has resonated with Palestinians fed up with Israeli restrictions, furious with their own leader in the Palestinian Authority. This crisis also comes at a time when Israel and the United States have been negotiating with Saudi over what would be a major step for the kingdom to recognise the Jewish state. Let me just say this, Israel is a Jewish country, and I'm losing my voice. So celebrating over in London about this war and what's happening to Israel right as we speak, there's been a new update. Celebrating this crisis in Israel is probably race motivated. It's probably a religious crime, a hate crime as you will. But let's look at this new update. What happened at the outdoor festival? We've just reported that a British citizen who was working as an outdoor, please, BBC, fucking learn how to spell. Don't put two ands and two wills and two whatevers, man. Like, they double their words. Like, it's like they type it out, they go for a coffee break, and then they forget that it already has an and, so they add another and. Outdoor dance festival in southern, sorry, I almost said southern, that is I'm almost misspoke, it is southern. Israel is missing. His mother told Jewish News that he was working as security staff at the event near the border with Gaza. Okay, so we already know that, so it's just a update on his whereabouts, and they're still looking for him up to this second. So yeah, that is breaking. Like, that came in at 11 o'clock. So it's just trying to keep us updated with how we're trying to track down this security guard. Attendees of that event have spoken of how gunmen opened fire in the early hours of this morning, or early hours of yesterday, so that would have been Friday night, not Saturday night. I just assumed it was overnight, but time zone difference, man, time zone's difference. Apparently, one attendee, she hid under a tree in a field as gunmen roamed around shooting anybody they found. So this is just an update of what's happening with the missing British citizen who was a security guard. They're interviewing like attendees and seeing what occurred at this outdoor festival. I almost said party, it's not, it's a festival. I have to clarify that, because festivals, anybody can go to them. Parties are literally whoever knows the party organisers can go to it, so they're two different things. They were very close to me and my leg was shaking. I tried and did my best. I moved a little bit, and when they were in this side I heard them talking Arabic, she said of the attackers. So maybe Saudi Arabia is going after them as well. Unless that's the language that Palestine speaks. I don't know. I'm not an English expert or a Arabic expert or a Israel expert. I'm just a guy on the internet just trying to get the facts and trying to deliver news to the best of my ability. Yes. Let's take a drink and then let's carry on. Footage showed destruction after Israeli strikes on Gaza. Video recorded in Gaza shows the scale of destruction there after Israeli airstrikes in response to the Palestinian attack. So, yeah, a mosque is seen destroyed in Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip, while several large buildings are also seen in ruins in Gaza City. So this story might be breaking for probably the rest of the month now. They're probably going to go back and forth with missiles striking towards Israel and retaliation going to Gaza. But Israel has already retaliated, which is good. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, Gaza. You should have left them alone, and my voice went yeet. Yeah, it just left my body for a second. But yeah, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and Gaza won a missile attack on one of their mosques, resulting in it being destroyed, and now people can't go praying because Gaza did a very stupid thing. Because in my opinion, the stronger side out of Israel and Gaza is Israel. They have a lot more connections with their military and other militaries. They have a lot of friends in Israel compared to Gaza, which I've only heard of because they have they have chose war. They've done the most stupidest thing and went after Israel. But apparently they've always had tensions dating back to 2005, so couldn't have been much of a surprise, but it would have still been a surprise because they probably was just arguing up to that point, and then people laying in bed was woken up to a loud bang and to gunmen like invading Israel. That must have been a frightening scene. I'm not experienced. I've never been in a war zone, but I'm pretty sure it would be a frightening experience. I think I probably would have a heart attack, and I'd probably be really shaken up by this attack if it happened here in Britain. So that is why Britain has to, and English people have to, like, not celebrate war, because you might piss somebody off and then they might come after you as a citizen. There's people being kidnapped and killed over in Israel, and that could happen in Britain. So you gotta stop celebrating war. We want peace, not war. Like, this is why I hate Britain sometimes. It is because our fucking citizens will celebrate the most disgusting act that's happening in the world right now. That's why I've always hated where I live, but there's no way out for me, so not yet. If I had to pick a country to go and move to, I'd probably pick Tenerife in Spain, because that is one of the most peaceful places that I've ever been to. Like, I'm a really big fan of Tenerife. But let's get my ugly ass face off the screen. I'll get to that story in a minute after we've read up on some more war stories. Yeah, the next story is internet anarchist. He made a video on Sunny V2, and I'll run that story in once I'm done with getting these updates over in Israel. And you might be wondering what's happening to me personally, why my voice keeps on breaking. I woke up with kind of a sore throat, so that's why my vocal cords don't want to talk today. But I'm gonna make it do it. God damn it. Is there any more updates going back up to the top? 2 Israeli terrorists killed in Egypt, Foreign Ministry. Oh, this is breaking news as I'm speaking. 2 Israeli tourists and their Egyptian tour guide have been shot dead in the Egyptian city of Alexandria. Israel's Foreign Ministry says a police officer allegedly opened fire on... Like, this is so... Why do you put opened fired? I don't get it, they confused me just now. A police officer allegedly opened fire, not fired, on a group of Israeli tourists in the city. The officer is now in custody, reports say. The Extra News television channel also quoted an unidentified security official as saying that another person was wounded in the attack. It is the first such attack on Israelis in Egypt in decades. So, what do we know now? We have found a security guard. Oh, security officials. Is it security officials as saying or are saying that another person... Oh, so that is a completely different security agency. I think I might have either read it wrong or misunderstood that story. But we've got another update. They are coming fast and quick. Threat of escalation hangs heavy here in Lebanon. I don't know how you say that. Following try again. Following Hezbollah's limited artillery and missile strikes this morning on Israeli positions, the situation here on Lebanon's southern border is for now calm, but the threat of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict escalating hangs heavy here in southern Lebanon and across the country. The Iranian-backed group chose its target carefully. 3 positions in the disputed territory of Shebay Farms, but it is capable of much more. Hezbollah, which like Iran is committed to Israel's destruction, yesterday congratulated Hamas on its attacks on Israeli territory and said it would keep a close eye on developments. Today's attacks were in solidarity with the Palestinian people, a fresh statement said. The militant group has long-range missiles at its disposal which can strike deep into Israeli territory. Israel, which retaliated immediately this morning by targeting launch and other sites, had already sent reinforcements to its northern border. It says it is planning a long conflict and a ground offensive in Gaza is expected. Today's exchange was limited in scale, with both sides carefully calibrating their responses, and falls far short of action that would provoke all-out war, but the implicit threat in Hezbollah's actions is that this may not always be the case, and Hezbollah is not Lebanon. There are many in the country that oppose it, still suffering from political paralysis. There is no president and a shattering economic crisis. Lebanon is poorly placed to face another crisis. That is true. What happens with war? Your economy goes. You go into a economic crisis. Fucking hell, I can't even say that word. But yeah, the economy kind of crashes, basically. In layman's terms. So yeah. But yeah, there's been so many updates within the last friggin' few minutes, man. But that last one was friggin', it was like an essay, so I had to read it without my voice cracking, like paying attention to the story ahead. But I think I got through it after like mispronouncing words like 1,000 times, but that's okay. So let's read some of these other stories that happened earlier. IDF operations in southern Israel. As we reported earlier, Israel says there are 8 points of engagement with Hamas militants inside its territory. Hamas, meanwhile, says fierce fighting is continuing. Yeah, it will be continued for the rest of the month, is my theory. Probably the rest of the year, because there's only a few months away until the end of the year, so they'll probably be fighting for the rest of the year, and it will probably be as long as Ukraine versus Russia has been going on. Like, now Hamas has pissed off Israel, and now it's going to be like back and forth for like months, years. It's just not going to stop. There's going to be more and more tensions rising, and I don't know if this is going to be a part of the World War. I think it would probably be more of a civil war because both places are close together. So I think this is more of a civil war than a world war. So I don't think this is the story that's going to, this is the incident that's going to kick off World War Three. I don't think so. If Russia versus Ukraine didn't do it, then Israel versus Hamas or Hamas versus Israel will certainly not do it. This will more than likely be a civil war that might break out. That's what it seems. That's what it seems like to me, anyway. But we'll see. Like, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just an idiot talking shit on the internet and trying to deliver news to the best of his ability. These are the 8 areas where the IDF says operations are taking place: Gaza, Sufa, Israel, Kizilvim, Kibbutz Reim, which I can't pronounce, Be'eri, Kfar Aza, Sikkim, Sderot, and Yahini. I like that last one. I sounded posh, didn't I? No? Okay. I'll take your word for it. More than 400 Palestinian militants killed, IDF. So, the 400 militants have been killed in southern Israel and the Gaza Strip. And dozens more have been captured, according to IDF. That was quoted in the Times of Israel, or the Israel Times if you want to put a spin on the name, because like New York Times, Israel Times. But apparently they've got a newspaper called Times of Israel instead of like New York Times, Israeli Times. Which is like, they want to be different. They're trying so hard to be different. The UK does it too. But yep, there has been no further reports at the moment, so I'm just going back and reporting old news stories that happened at 9 AM in my country this morning. What could happen next? Hamas has called on Palestinians and other Arabs to join the action to sweep away the Israeli occupation. A big question now is whether Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem, I don't fucking know, or elsewhere in the region. I think that's where Jesus was born, wherever he was born, or elsewhere in the region, will heed his call. Israel undoubtedly sees the potential for a war that could open up on multiple fronts. A worst case scenario is that it could draw in the powerful Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has ordered a massive reinforcement of troops as well as its intense air raids. I think I read that earlier, I don't fucking know though. But there has been so much, yep, that's, I'm just trying to get to the newest story because I'm now confused. Oh, here we go, so just updated. Watch Israel's Iron Dome intercepts rockets. Video from the southern Israeli city of Ashkelon shows the country's Iron Dome air defense system intercepting missiles from Gaza. Let's have a look at this while we're waiting. I will just put it up on screen right now, so bear with me. Is that the one? You can see my screen, right? So let's have a look at this video right now. Oh, fireworks! Oh, bloody hell. So missiles look like fireworks. I never realised that before, but then again, I've never been in the middle of war. Now watch it without my commentary. I'm gonna try and shut up and drink my water. as I can see, there's some cranes up there, and if they were on it at this time of night, because this looks like about, if I had to guess, 8 o'clock to midnight, I'm hoping that construction workers wasn't up there at the time of these missiles going off, because like they probably would have thought it was fireworks. Little did they know they're actually under attack, because they actually do look very similar to fireworks. So yeah, as I said before, I made a stupid comment. Oh, fireworks? No, they're fucking missiles, bro. So yeah, sometimes I make my stupid comments. Let's get back on the image. Is it image number 1? No, it's image number 2. I think while I'm waiting for reports to come out, I think I can read the next story. So we'll just go to the next story while we're waiting on some more reports. So this next story is Internet Anarchist makes a video about Sunny Feed 2. So as you can see, there has been some comments, and this is a very interesting story because of what the comment section has said, as you can see on the screen now. But in case the letters are too small, because like Internet Anarchist comment is was very minimized, because I couldn't find space to make it any bigger, because I needed this like late news story like red thing on the bottom, so people knew what this show is. So let's read some of these comments, which is only 2. One from Attempt YouTube, which made the assumption that they were going to battle against each other. They were having an argument. Sunny Feed 2 versus Internet Anarchist, the battle we never knew we wanted. And then Internet Anarchist responds to that saying, "This isn't a battle at all. I am mainly looking into the effects of his videos and updating everyone on the subjects of his videos." So Internet Anarchist, just like me, wants peace, not war. He was just doing a video essay on people that he believes are victims of Sunny Feed 2, because Sunny Feed 2 has talked about people's downfalls and have made videos on so many different YouTubers, and so he calls them victims, because some of these stories that Sunny Feed 2 has talked about, especially the one with the woman on the left of him, which it's your left, it's everybody's left, which is she's a transgendered woman, and I think he got I think he was misinforming people of it, or he came off a little bit transphobic in that video, which pissed off the internet and divided the internet. So he was just talking about like the many victims, the many videos that have been made on certain people, like Only Use Me Blade, and his downfall of being a drunk person, or Bella Delphine of her downfall of no longer being mysterious, and now nobody cares about her content because they don't have that interest in her, because there's no intrigue. She's not a mystery anymore. She has come out on many podcasts talking about her strategies when it comes to content creations. And because she said too much and she gave away too much information about herself, now people know every last detail about her, apart from like obviously private details about her. He was talking about like basically why nobody cares about her anymore and why this is her downfall, and it is basically because she got famous because of people wanted to know more about her, and now because of her going on podcasts, they know they've got the answers that they were looking for. Now they don't care about Bella Delphine. So yeah, things like that. So he was just saying So basically what Internet Anarchist was just doing was literally showing everybody that, well, not everybody because that would be too long of a video, but the most important stories of people's downfalls that Sunnyfeed2 has covered and how it affected their life, and I don't think it really affected their life too much. So yeah, I don't think it affected their life too much. I think their life more than likely was unaffected, but I thought it was interesting that he made a video on Sunnyfeed2, and I'm even more interested about the response that Sunnyfeed2 will have coming for Internet Anarchist. But as Internet Anarchist said, every time there's been some controversy surrounding Sunnyfeed2, or there's been some like quote unquote drama surrounding that name, people getting pissed off with him because they feel like he's doing misinformation and he's trying to mislead his audience and trying to spin a narrative on people to make people like I don't know what his goal is, but any beef that people have with him that's said, oh, we hate Sunnyfeed2 because of A, B or C, he just ignores the whole drama surrounding his name, and it's just business as usual to Sunnyfeed2. He just ignores all the drama surrounding his name, and he just moves on with the next video that he's got in store for us. So he doesn't care if people love him or hate him. He will make video essays for people that want to watch, which is a good mindset, because if you ignore the drama, then you're not giving the haters any attention, and you can just continue making videos that your fans like, not your haters. But what I understand about haters on YouTube, they are your most vocal fans. They don't really hate you, they're just criticizing everything that you do so you get better at video creating. That's what a hater basically is when it comes to YouTube. They don't unironically hate you, they're not going to track you down and shoot you in the head. They're literally just there to criticize and call out your bullshit, kind of like a friend would do. But people will call them haters because some people can't take criticism, and that's most people on YouTube. But yeah, Sunnyfeed2 doesn't care what you think about his video essays. He will keep on delivering them, and he will keep on reporting on people's lives to the best of his ability. Just like me reporting news to the best of my ability. So, but I thought it was interesting that Internet Anarchist made a video on Sunnyfeed2. So that's why that's made it in this news video as the only other news of today. Now back to the video. Let's see if there's any more developments. Oh yes, this is like a rabbit hole that we've dug ourselves. So that was the dome one, like the explosions, like that I called fireworks because I'm a stupid person. I almost called myself the N-word, and then I looked at my skin colour and I'm like, I'm not one of those, mate. But anyway, here's the latest. More than 24 hours after Hamas launched its attack on Israel and infiltrated southern communities, here's the latest on the biggest escalation in the conflict in decades. Clashes between Israeli force and Palestinian militants are ongoing in several parts of southern Israel. According to local media reports, Haaretz quotes the Israeli army as saying it has taken back control of most areas of the south, I almost said southern, but fighting is continuing in areas close to the Gaza border, including Be'eri and Sderot. The Israeli embassy in the UK has confirmed a British citizen, Jake Marlowe, is missing. He was working as security staff at an outdoor dance festival near the Gaza border when the attack happened. More than 400 Palestinian militants have been killed in southern Israel and the Gaza Strip, and dozens more have been captured. An IDF spokesman was quoted as saying by the Times of Israel, and at least 300 Israelis have been killed and dozens kidnapped. Israel's embassy in Turkey said, quoting Israel's Ministry of Health, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 313 people in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian officials say, meanwhile, Israel officials have said the country is still at war and still completing efforts to take fully control of Israeli territory and communities from Hamas. So, that is the latest. That's everything that's happened in the last 24 hours revolving around the Israel and the Hamas and the Gaza war. Right, now that that was the latest, I can terminate this news video. I will see you whenever I see you. Goodbye.